Her scream didn't sound like fear. It sounded like a performance, one meant to summon sirens and bury the truth. Marcus's hands weren't weapons. They were holding grocery bags. Alina wasn't breaking in. She was unlocking her own apartment, and when the patrol car rolled in, tires slicing through sunlight, the woman who weaponized her skin finally saw the officer's face, and her world cracked open. This is Untold Justice, where lies tremble, truth cuts deep, and the oppressed finally get the mic. If you're tired of people using the police like personal attack dogs, like this video, subscribe and stay with us. Because today, silence fights back. Marcus Hill never lived loud. He didn't have the luxury. Black boys in his neighborhood learned early, quiet could save your life. So he grew into a man who walked softly even when he carried the weight of 2 jobs and the dreams of a woman he loved. Alina was the calm after every storm, a nursing student with warm eyes and a voice that turned chaos into something gentle. Together, they were building peace brick by brick, bill by bill. But there was one thing they couldn't control: their new neighbour, Mrs. Connelly, the hallway warden, the queen of complaints, the woman who measured a person's worth by the shade of their skin and the brand of their clothes. And from the moment the black couple moved in, she watched them like they were trespassing inside their own lives. Her eyes narrowed at their laughter. Her mouth tightened at their joy. Her hand clutched her phone like a weapon itching to be used. And on the morning everything changed. She finally used it. It was supposed to be simple. Groceries, sunlight, a lazy Saturday starting slow and easy. Marcus carried the heavy bags. Alina fumbled with the keys. They were joking about who burned the chicken last night when Mrs. Connelly exploded out of her door like a fire alarm trying to be human. "What are you doing at my apartment?" she shrieked. Alina blinked. "Ma'am, this is our unit." But Mrs. Connelly wasn't listening. She wasn't seeing 2 tenants. She was seeing 2 stereotypes, 2 stories she invented the moment she saw their skin. She reached for her phone. Marcus's heart dropped. Alina whispered, "Marcus, don't move." He didn't. He held the bags like evidence of his humanity. Mrs. Connelly dialed 911 with shaking hands, though the only danger present was the lie she was about to tell. "Help!" she cried, voice quivering on cue. "2 intruders! They're threatening me! I'm so scared! Please hurry!" Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. "Ma'am, please!" "Don't come closer!" she screamed, stepping back dramatically. And just like that, the system was set in motion. Sirens were on their way. To rescue her. To end him. The cruiser didn't just pull in. It arrived like judgment. Lights slicing through the parking lot. Tires hissing anger into the concrete. Mrs. Connelly sprinted toward it, clutching her chest. "Oh, thank heavens, they tried to break in!" Marcus raised his hand slowly, not out of guilt but out of survival. Alina stepped in front of him, shaking. The patrol car door opened. Mrs. Connelly's entire body froze, because the man stepping out wasn't just an officer. He was a ghost from her past. Officer Damien Parker, tall, black, steady. She recognized him instantly. The same officer she'd once accused of being aggressive for asking her to lower her voice at an HOA meeting. The same man she'd tried to embarrass in front of neighbors because she thought her whiteness guaranteed safety. She swallowed hard. "Oh, Officer Parker, I didn't know they'd send you." He didn't smile, didn't nod, didn't soften. "Step aside, ma'am." "But Now!" Her confidence cracked. Parker walked toward Marcus and Alina slowly, the way a man walks when he's seen this story too many times from too many angles. "Are you too hurt?" he asked softly. Marcus shook his head. Alina whispered, "We were just trying to get inside." Parker nodded, then turned to Mrs. Connelly. "Tell me exactly what you saw." Her lie trembled. Well, I didn't recognize." "That apartment," Parker said, pointing, "has their names on the lease." Her eyes darted. Her voice shrank. "I must have been confused. You told dispatch he was armed. Maybe I misunderstood. You also said he threatened you." Her silence confirmed the truth louder than any confession. Neighbors peeked out. Phones pointed. Justice recording. Parker stepped closer. "Ma'am, filing a false police report is a crime." Her eyes widened. "You're arresting me?" Parker's voice stayed calm. Too calm. "When you use the police to enforce your fear, you don't need protection. You need accountability." Mrs. Connelly's hands shook as he placed her in cuffs. Alina exhaled shakily. Marcus felt his knees loosen. For the first time that morning, the truth was winning. But Justice hadn't finished speaking yet. Just as Parker began escorting Mrs. Connelly to the cruiser, another police SUV sped into the lot. A different officer stepped out. Officer Reeves, jaw tight, eyes locked straight on Marcus. "Marcus Hill," he announced. "You're coming with me." Alina gasped. "What? For what?" Reeves lifted a document, a warrant. "For theft and fraud connected to a warehouse break-in," Marcus staggered back. No, sir, I didn't do anything." Parker stepped forward. "Reeves, that makes no sense." But Reeves cut him off. "This one isn't your call." Parker's face darkened, because everything inside him knew this wasn't justice. This was a setup. Reeves tightened his grip on the cuffs, and as Marcus was pushed toward the SUV, Parker saw something through the tinted glass. A second pair of handcuffs already waiting on the seat. Used. Prepared. Planned. This wasn't random. This was targeted, and the real story was just beginning. Marcus thought the worst was over when the truth exposed Mrs. Connelly. But prejudice doesn't always wear the same face, and justice doesn't always roll in with clean hands. When Officer Reeves stepped out with a warrant and a stare that wasn't neutral, everything shifted. This time the lie wasn't from a neighbour. It was coming from inside the system. The air in the parking lot tightened like the night itself was holding its breath. Red-blue lights flashed over Marcus's skin, turning his fear into a broken kaleidoscope of colour. Alina's hand clasped his arm. "Marcus, what is happening?" Officer Reeves held the warrant like a shield, like paper could replace truth. "Marcus Hill, you're under arrest for felony theft and warehouse fraud." Marcus blinked. Confusion. Fear. No, sir, I didn't do anything." Parker stepped forward. "Reeves, that makes no sense." But Reeves cut him off. "This one isn't your call." Parker's face darkened, because everything inside him knew this wasn't justice. This was a setup. Reeves tightened his grip on the cuffs, and as Marcus was pushed toward the SUV, Parker saw something through the tinted glass. A second pair of handcuffs already waiting on the seat. Used. Prepared. Planned. This wasn't random. This was targeted, and the real story was just beginning. The tension stretched thin. Two officers, same badge, different battle. Reeves didn't back down. Predators rarely do when they think the system sits behind them. Marcus looked at Parker, not for permission, but for clarity for humanity. "Officer Parker, what do I do?" Parker swallowed hard. He knew the rules. He knew the risks. He knew a black man resisting, even in innocence, could become a headline by sundown. Parker stepped back slowly. "Marcus, don't fight it. I won't let this end wrong." Marcus closed his eyes and gave up his wrists. The handcuffs didn't just click, they echoed. Alina broke. Reeves barked. "Stand aside." Parker's jaw locked, his voice low, steady. "She has the right to speak, and I have the right to know who signed that warrant." Reeves hesitated, just long enough for truth to leak out. Because hesitation is guilt wearing a uniform. Parker's eyes narrowed. "You didn't get this warrant yourself, did you?" Reeves looked away, and Parker understood. This wasn't a normal arrest. This was a setup. As Reeves guided Marcus toward the SUV, he leaned in, voice serpentine. "You should have stayed quiet, Hill," Marcus blinked. "What?" Reeves smirked. "You flagged a missing pallet at your warehouse last week, right? Wrong move." The puzzle slammed together in Marcus's mind. The missing electronics, the report he filed, the supervisor who dismissed him, and now, a warrant with no evidence shown. This wasn't about theft. This was retaliation. This was silencing. This was a message. Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Sir, someone at that warehouse is setting me up." Reeves locked the SUV door. "Good. Then you're smart enough to see why you shouldn't fight this." The engine revved. Alina screamed, "Marcus! Marcus!" Parker grabbed her shoulders. "I promise you, I'm not letting him disappear in this." Her voice cracked. "Damien, I'm scared." "So am I," he admitted quietly. As the SUV rolled forward, Parker spoke into his radio fast, sharp. "Dispatch, run that arrest warrant for Marcus Hill. Confirm issuing precinct, confirm signature, confirm evidence file now. Reeves slammed his brakes. Parker, you're out of line. No, Parker said, stepping forward. You are, and I'm calling this in before someone gets framed. Reeves got out of the SUV, slamming the door. You don't know who you're messing with? Parker stepped closer, unafraid. And you don't know how many times I've seen this play out. Fake warrants, bogus charges, paper trails manufactured by men who think the uniform makes them untouchable. Reeves flinched. 1 second. But enough for Parker to see everything. This came from the top, didn't it? Parker whispered. Reeves stayed silent, but silence was all the confirmation needed. Mrs. Connelly screamed from the cruiser, Reeves, don't let him near that file! Call your captain! Parker's head snapped toward her. Your captain, he repeated slowly. Her breath caught. It was too late. Parker had heard her. He turned back to Reeves. So that's who signed the warrant, your captain, her friend. Reeves clenched his fists. Drop it, Parker. This is bigger than you. Parker's voice dropped to a whisper. Good, because I'm done playing small. Reeves shoved the SUV into drive. As the car rolled off with Marcus inside, Parker called out, Reeves, I'm not letting this go. Reeves yelled back out the window. You won't have the chance. But then, a third police vehicle pulled in, not fast, not loud, silent, a black unmarked car. The door opened. A man in a suit stepped out. Cold eyes, no badge showing, authority dripping off every step. He spoke directly to Parker. Officer Parker, you're being reassigned. Parker frowned. What? Why? The man handed him an envelope. Inside, a transfer order, effective immediately, and at the bottom, signed by Captain R. Connelly, Mrs. Connelly's cousin. Parker's blood ran cold. The man said quietly, Back off the hill, Case, or you'll lose more than your badge. The truth wasn't hiding in the shadows. It was walking in daylight, wearing a badge. And when Marcus disappeared into that patrol SUV, Officer Parker finally realized he wasn't fighting a false arrest. He was fighting an entire system that wanted Marcus gone, and someone powerful was pulling every string. This is untold justice, where silence exposes the guilty and truth refuses to stay buried. The unmarked car's door slammed shut, echoing across the lot. Parker's fingers tightened around the transfer order, his name, his precinct, his removal. He felt the ground tilt beneath him. Alina stepped close, her voice shaking. Damien, what does that mean? Parker's jaw clenched. It means they want me off this case. Now. Mrs. Connelly smirked through the cruiser window, her cuffs clinking softly. See, Officer Parker, some of us know the right people. Parker turned toward her slowly, not angry, not irritated, but done. Mrs. Connelly, he said quietly, the only reason you're smiling is because you don't understand the difference between power and protection. Her smile faltered. Alina stepped closer, hope flickering. So you can still help Marcus? Parker nodded once. Yeah, but not as a cop. The words tasted like betrayal on his tongue, because the badge was supposed to protect the innocent, but today it was protecting the wrong side. Marcus sat alone in the backseat of Reeves's SUV. Hands cuffed, heart pounding. The windows were tinted, but he could still see enough. Parker arguing, Alina crying, Reeves smirking. Marcus stared down at his bound hands. Someone set me up, he whispered. But why me? He replayed the warehouse incident in his mind. The missing electronics, his report, the supervisor's nervous reaction, the mysterious pallet that vanished overnight, and then something darker. A month before, a new hire at the warehouse whispered to Marcus during break. They move stuff at night, stuff we're not meant to see. Watch your back. The next day, that new hire never came back. Marcus swallowed hard. Oh God, I know too much. The SUV began moving. Marcus closed his eyes, praying Parker would find something, anything, before the system swallowed him whole. The unmarked agent, the man with the deadpan eyes, stepped closer to Parker. You're being transferred downtown starting tomorrow. Until then, do not contact the Hill case again. Parker stared him down. And if I do? The man smiled thinly. Then Marcus won't be the only one in cuffs. Parker let the silence stretch. Not fear, calculation. Then the agent's phone buzzed. He stepped aside to answer it. That gave Parker 8 seconds. 8. He walked swiftly to Alina, voice low and urgent. "Listen carefully, there's something you need to do." Alina wiped her tears. "Anything." "I need you to call Marcus's supervisor at the warehouse. Ask about the missing pallet he reported," she blinked. "Why?" "Because Marcus didn't commit a crime. He uncovered one." Alina's eyes widened. "You think someone inside the warehouse?" "Not think," Parker whispered. "No." The agent turned back toward them. Parker stepped away instantly, voice neutral. "Yes, sir." Transfer understood. But inside, something unshakable had snapped. He wasn't protecting Marcus as a cop anymore. He was protecting him as a man. Inside the SUV, Marcus felt the road shift beneath him. A turn. Another turn. Then another. This wasn't the route to the precinct. "Officer, where are we going?" Marcus asked. Reeves didn't answer. "Sir, this isn't the right way?" Reeves finally spoke. "Relax. I'm taking you somewhere private until we sort the paperwork." Marcus's stomach dropped. No, that's not protocol." Reeves met his eyes through the rearview mirror. "Kid, where you're going. Protocol doesn't matter." Marcus's throat closed. Am I being kidnapped?" Reeves chuckled. "Not kidnapped, just rerouted." Marcus felt cold flood through his chest. "Please, I didn't do anything." "That's the problem," Reeves muttered. "You saw something you shouldn't have." Reeves turned down an empty service road. No streetlights, no witnesses. Marcus's pulse hammered against the cuffs. Back at the building, Parker watched the unmarked car pull away. He didn't move until the taillights vanished. Then he called out, "Alina, let's go." She looked at him, confused. "Where?" Parker grabbed his keys. "To the warehouse." "Right now?" "Yes," he said, because Reeves didn't take Marcus to the station. Alina froze. "What? How do you know?" Parker looked her dead in the eyes. "I saw the direction he turned." Alina's breath caught. "Oh, God. Damien, what if—" "Get in," Parker said, "before he disappears." They arrived at the delivery plant. Quiet, dark, no workers. Just one flickering security light. Parker stepped out, scanning the lot. "Something's off," he whispered. Alina hugged her arms. Should we be here?" "Yes, because Marcus's answers are in this building." They approached the side door, and that's when Parker noticed it. The broken lock, not broken by force, removed, picked, professional. Parker exhaled. This wasn't done by a thief. This was done by someone with access. Alina's face twisted. "Someone inside the warehouse?" Parker nodded. "And they needed Marcus gone before he talked." He pushed the door open. Alina gasped. Inside the warehouse, pallets were stacked neatly, clean, organized. Except one square of floor space, perfectly empty. A missing pallet. Marcus's pallet. Parker crouched, running his fingers along the concrete. No dust, no dirt. "Something sat here recently," Alina whispered. "So Marcus was right." Parker stood. "And someone wanted that truth gone, just like they want him gone." Parker spotted a small paper wedged behind a crate. He grabbed it. A printed image. Grainy security footage. A figure in a hoodie departing with a pallet jack. Parker stared at the height. The posture. The build. "That's not Marcus," he said. "Then who is it?" Alina whispered. Parker flipped the page. The back had a stamp, "Property of Precinct. Confidential Evidence File, Officer R. Reeves." Alina clapped a hand over her mouth. Oh my God! Reeves knew. He knew it wasn't Marcus. Parker's hand shook with anger, not loud but lethal. "He's not taking Marcus to the station," Parker said. "He's taking him to whoever stole that pallet." Alina's voice cracked. "Where? Where would he take him?" Parker stared at the exit door. "I know exactly where." The SUV stopped abruptly. Marcus's heart slammed against his ribs. Reeves stepped out, opened the back door, and yanked Marcus to his feet. They were in an abandoned industrial lot. Only one other car was parked there, a black sedan. Its door opened slowly. A man stepped out, tall, clean suit, expensive watch. And Marcus recognized him instantly. His warehouse supervisor, Mr. Dalton. Marcus's knees weakened. Dalton smiled. "Marcus, we need to have a chat." Marcus looked desperately toward the road. No one, no Parker, no Alina, no witnesses. Dalton stepped closer. "You should have minded your business, son," Marcus whispered. Please, don't hurt me." Dalton smirked. "Oh, we're past that." Reeves tightened his grip on Marcus's arm, and Dalton pulled out something from his coat. A gun. Marcus choked on his breath. "No, please," Dalton aimed. "Goodbye, Marcus." A gunshot exploded, but it wasn't Dalton's. A second shot rang out. Dalton's gun flew out of his hand. Reeves ducked. Marcus dropped to the ground. Headlights blasted the lot, a car screeching in. The driver's door slammed open. A familiar voice yelled, "Step away from him!" Marcus looked up through shaking breaths. It was Officer Parker, gun drawn, face cold, ready to end this, and Alina was right behind him. Dalton sneered. "You should have stayed transferred, Parker." But Parker stepped forward. "Funny, that's exactly what I thought about you." The night didn't hide their secrets. It exposed them. Every lie, every setup, every weapon disguised as a badge or a smile. And when Parker stepped into that lot with his gun raised, Dalton and Reeves finally understood. They weren't dealing with a cop. They were dealing with a man who had nothing left to lose and everything left to protect. This is Untold Justice, where corruption cracks, and truth hits harder than bullets. Wind whipped across the empty industrial lot, cold and sharp as the tension hanging in the air. Dalton stumbled backward, clutching his shot hand. Reeves pulled his gun, aiming at Parker. Parker didn't flinch. "Drop it, Reeves," he warned. Reeves laughed. "You're done, Damien. Already transferred. Already removed. One more step and you're just a man with a gun." Parker stepped forward anyway. "That's still more honest than a badge on a liar." Reeves fired. But Parker dove behind Marcus, dragging him to cover. Dalton screamed, "You idiot! Don't shoot the kid!" But Reeves didn't care. His eyes were wild now, cornered, desperate. Alina hid behind the patrol car, trembling, whispering Marcus's name. Parker peeked out and shouted, "Reeves! The precinct already knows the warrant was fake." Reeves froze. "How?" "Dispatch confirmed it. You forged it. You deleted evidence. And you ran security for Dalton's operation." Dalton's face drained. You what?" Reeves snarled. He was going to talk. Someone had to take the blame. Dalton lunged toward Reeves. "You were supposed to make him disappear quietly, you fool." "Quietly?" Parker roared. "You drove him into the middle of a damn graveyard lot." Reeves pointed his gun at Dalton. "You say one more word." And that was it. The unravelling. The corruption finally eating itself. Parker stepped out, gun raised. "This is over. Drop your weapons." Dalton dropped his gun instantly. But Reeves, his eyes flicked toward Alina, toward Marcus, toward the shadows where fear still lived. "No," he whispered. "I won't go down for this." He aimed at Marcus, not Parker. Marcus froze. "No!" Alina screamed. A shot rang out. Dalton collapsed. Reeves stared, shocked. He didn't fire. He didn't get the chance. Parker had taken the shot. Reeves dropped his gun, and when he tried to run, Parker tackled him, cuffs snapping around his wrists. "You tried to destroy an innocent man," Parker hissed. "Now you answer for every lie." Reeves thrashed, screaming. "You'll regret this, Parker. You'll regret ever crossing me." Parker looked at him with the cold truth of a man who had seen enough. "I regret trusting the wrong people, not stopping them." Backup arrived in minutes. Troopers, internal affairs, state detectives. Dalton was arrested for fraud, theft, conspiracy, and attempted murder. Reeves was taken away screaming as IA agents read him his charges. Forging a warrant, kidnapping, attempted murder, tampering with evidence corruption under colour of law, Mrs. Connelly, still in her cuffs in the original cruiser, watched all of it unfold. Her world crumbled slow, because she finally understood. Her lies didn't start this, but they lit the match, and the fire burned everyone who thought they were safe. Parker walked toward Marcus, who sat shaking on the ground. "You okay?" he whispered. Marcus nodded slowly. I think so." Alina threw herself into Marcus's arms, sobbing. "Marcus, you didn't deserve any of this." Marcus's voice cracked. "Why me? Why was I the one they targeted?" Parker inhaled deeply. "Because you told the truth. And when corrupt people hear the truth, they start picking their targets." Marcus swallowed hard. "So, speaking up almost got me killed?" Parker shook his head. "No, speaking up is what saved you. You just needed someone to listen." Tears filled Alina's eyes, And you listened, Parker nodded. Always. A week later, Dalton's warehouse scheme was exposed statewide. Millions in stolen goods traced. A network of corrupt officers exposed. Reeves, indicted on 9 counts. Mrs. Connelly, charged with filing a false police report and obstruction of justice. Marcus, cleared, compensated. Recognized for exposing the theft ring. And Officer Damien Parker, reinstated, promoted, honored for blowing the whistle on corruption inside his own department. But when a reporter asked him, why risk everything to help one black couple? Parker answered simply, because they were innocent. And sometimes, that's the only reason you need. Sometimes justice doesn't come from the system. It comes from the people who refuse to let the system break them. Marcus wasn't powerful. He wasn't privileged. He wasn't connected. But he was honest. And honesty terrifies the corrupt more than anything else, because once truth speaks, lies lose their power. Marcus didn't just survive that night. He didn't just clear his name. He exposed a web of people who thought a black man would stay silent. He proved them wrong, and in the end, truth didn't whisper, it roared. Tell us what you would do in this situation in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.